It's coming. Just a moment. Hello, everyone. I am your host, Deborah Hall McCullen, and welcome to the Family is Everything show. Yay! I am here with my family, and today we are here to celebrate our real life superhero, Mr. James E. Hall Sr. So, joining me, I have my twin brothers, Carrie and Gary. I have my sister, Leisha, and I have my brother, who we call Jimmy, his name is James E. Hall the second. All right. And so that's James E. Hall Sr., our superhero. And we're gonna go through right quick to talk about his life and legacy. And I'm ready to get started. Are y'all ready?
Ready?
Hmm. Yes.
We're ready.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna start from the beginning, and then we're gonna roll through some pictures. We have a lot of pictures and a couple of videos to share. So bear with me because I'm running my own board as usual. And sometimes these pictures are slow to load, but rest assured they are coming. Um, and while we are going through these pictures, like I said, we're going to talk about some of our favorite stories that some of the good times that we had with our dad while he was here. So this is where it all started. See, on the left is my mom's mom, Mrs. Mary Hall. That's her mother. That is Elaine Fulmore. And before Mary Hall became Mary Hall, she was Mary Ann Fulmore. So that is her mother right there on the left. And on the right is Mrs. Fannie Hall, who was also Fannie Singleton. That's our father's mother right there. Y'all know Miss Fannie from Greater Bethel Primitive Baptist Church. She was a faithful member for many years of Greater Bethel Primitive Baptist Church. So moving forward, our dad was class of 1957, Roosevelt High School, where he was also the quarterback at Roosevelt High School. So you know the quarterbacks are always popular, knows everybody. No, everybody knows them. Somebody that was the
Yeah.
a winning quarterback at Roosevelt High School. So that's his high school graduation picture there. And then from while he was in high school, he met this beautiful young lady by the name of Mary Ann Fulmore. And they fell in love, and guess what they did? They went on and they got married at the ripe age of what was it, 19 and 21, 18 and 20, something like that. They were really, really young. But they went ahead and got married. So picture of the marriage license should be showing. It's gonna pop up in just a second. I hope.
So,
There it is.
it's already on there.
The-
It's on there.
so this is their marriage license where they got married December 12th, 1958 in West Palm Beach, Florida. So that is a copy of the Holy Estate of Matrimony. That's their marriage license. And then from there, they had twin boys, Carrie and Gary. Gary has on glasses. Carrie does not have on glasses. That's how you tell them apart tonight.
Also known
And
as twin.
yeah, they known as twins, so you never really know which one you're gonna see. So just call them a twin, okay? And then from there, this is what I wanted to talk extensively about, and if you guys could help me fill in the blanks because I wasn't even born when he was a police officer with the city of West Palm Beach, and here is his picture. So we do have one more person that just came on. Let me add her right quick. Turn on your camera. But I think she can still hear us even if her camera isn't on, but she'll figure it out in a minute. But thank you for coming on. That's our sister Angela. We call her Janine. So it's coming. Um and the picture is coming up as well. All right. So while he was at the police department, I think he was there with City of West Palm for about 10 years or so, right? And so during that time, the police department was not integrated. So you had the black patrol officers, which is what he was, a patrol officer who could not patrol the white neighborhoods, right? So they could only do black neighborhoods. You couldn't arrest white people and all of this other stuff. So guess what happened? He became the first black man in Palm Beach County to arrest a white person. And then he also filed a lawsuit against the city of West Palm Beach because actually, after 1964, they were violating the Civil Rights Act. So, all of the training, conferences, and everything that the white police officers were allowed to attend, they were denied. The black patrol officers were denied. So here's what I need help with my twin brothers to help fill in the blanks because I do understand that it was a really big thing back then where, he was doing interviews on the radio and whatnot talking about it. It was a really big thing for black people because even at that time when they were trying to integrate the West Palm Beach Police Department, the school district wasn't even integrated. They didn't integrate Palm Beach County School District until 1971. So if you guys remember some of the things that took place back then, can you imagine this day and time, trying to go against white supremacy and back then how he was treated at work? Sometimes even in our own jobs, how we get treated sometimes by people who feel that you don't deserve or why don't you just resign and go somewhere else? That kind of attitude. So, do you guys remember some of the things that took
I
place back
remember him
then?
talking about, as far as like trying to get promoted to a higher, the next level and stuff. Yeah, people that actually told him that, he ain't going nowhere. They weren't trying to promote you or help you either. And it was told right to your face. Wasn't nothing here about it or nothing like that. It was, like you said, there one guy that was, he was a high up. It was like he just made, like he just kept telling him, like, ain't no sense in you even looking for a promotion as far as getting to a top level. So it was one of them things, but he had to go, above and beyond that in order for things to happen. So that's how that went about. So it was just one of them. You had to fight all the way through. Just like
Right.
interstate going through, man, going in your park when it was a dirt road. These JB and Giggs said, I'm trying to say nothing. The man
He could
stopped them
stop
every
him.
single time,
He show
asked
him
him
the
where he was
badge.
going, and he'll show him, he'll say, I'm going to my mama's house. Now I did. He didn't go way around a long way. That's how a lot of that got started. He just kept going through that. But every time he went through that, they got stopped. It was just
Oh
one of
yeah,
them
I
things.
remember Magnolia Park didn't allow white
He
black
showed him
people.
his badge.
Yeah.
He showed the
That
badge. They told him. He still told him he couldn't come through there.
He went through there anyway though, but that one thing was kind of changing over, So either you did or you didn't. You either stood up to it or you just,
He blocked
weren't
the
dealing
road
with it.
off.
A
right.
dirt road, but
He blocked
over
the
a period
road
of
off.
time, people
You
was
was
able to,
black, you couldn't go that
yeah,
way.
they didn't want you coming through there. So stuff
So
like that.
we do know that he was the first black member of the Fraternal Order of Police for the state of Florida. So I got an email from them, and they're supposed to send us a letter acknowledging as such.
hmm
What else was it?
He used to take
Um,
us to the game and the back of the car, but we was so young, we ain't. I don't think we knew we were going out there so we can get out there and play and stuff like that when he had to work the games at Roosevelt when it was on Australia in the field was. So we had a
all
good
right.
experience with that.
So
It
I'm
was
gonna
funny
roll
because,
through. Keep talking, Gary. I'm just gonna show some pictures. Y'all can just keep talking. I'm just
yeah,
gonna show
it,
pictures.
it was funny because when we rode in the back, okay, go ahead.
No, I want you to keep talking while I show the
Put that
pictures.
picture there though.
You could keep
Yeah,
talking while I show the pictures.
yeah.
You can keep talking while I show the pictures.
Oh, I was telling her when we used to ride in the back of the police car, people used to be looking at us like we done got in trouble. We just going to the football game with James. It was funny though how people were looking
Yeah.
and their reaction. So it wasn't nothing
So
though. We
y'all,
had fun though.
so y'all were riding in the back of his patrol cars. What you're
Yeah, he
saying?
was taking down in the car. We were so little
Okay.
you could barely see our head. But it was
Okay.
fun though. We
All
didn't look
right. So I'm
at it.
gonna roll through some more of these pictures. Our family gathering, our last big family gathering, um, where we got together in July of this year for Miss Mary's birthday party. And that's all of us. I think that's like about 30 of us together. It was a good time. Everybody was happy. He was happy. We had a really good time eating, just fellowshipping together and getting
People
together
seem
as a
yeah,
family. That's our whole family.
yeah.
Glad we
Well,
were
that's
able to
most
get.
of them.
Yeah.
He loved music, and I captured this picture of him doing his favorite things, going through CDs because he was, as usual, the DJ at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
I
talking
wanna
about listening to sounds of the music and different instruments and stuff. That was years
Mm,
ago when he listened to me. He said, "Yeah, but I'm listening to certain things and stuff." That's how I caught on to it. And ever since then, I can listen to all kinds, like you said. Do
I wanna
whatever.
go back to the police force,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure some stuff don't get left out because I don't. I want people to understand how important his lawsuit was against the
Right.
police department and how
Right.
yeah, at that
difficult it
time,
was.
but
Because
yeah, especially
I
back
wasn't
then,
there, but I had
especially
conversations
in the
with my dad
'60s.
about it, and
Yeah,
James always talked about how when you want to do something, you may be the voice and the face of it, but everybody get a chance to benefit from it. And
right,
Right.
when you get ready to stick your neck out, you have to be willing to, sacrifice yourself basically because
Right.
he told me about
yeah,
a
back
lot
and
of
forth. To be
death
honest.
threats and phone calls and
Mm-hmm.
being out on calls and
Oh yeah,
not getting backup while he
Right.
was out on calls. And he was relating this to a different situation, just let me know that sometimes when you want to do something, the very people that it will benefit, they're not going to back you up. But if you write and you continue,
Yeah.
you'll be successful. God gonna help you in that situation. And I remember having a conversation with a police officer that we all know. He works for the West Palm Beach Police Department. I don't know if he's still there, but this is back when I lived in West Palm Beach. And our conversation led me to remind him that, hey, my dad helped you get your job, you
Right.
know,
right
because there was a time where you wouldn't be able to be in the position that you're in right now,
yeah,
except for him fighting to integrate the police department and overall fairness and treatment of the black police force. So I
right.
was
I'm
And
really
glad.
proud of my
Glad
dad for
Jim.
doing that and being able to say that he did something for the entire community.
Right.
I remember when they used to call the
absolutely.
phone, call the house, and tap the phone and stuff like that. I remember that well back in
Yeah.
the '60s. Yeah, they used to call the phone and stuff and all that, harassment
Hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. I remember that well, man.
When he
Like you
filed
said,
that lawsuit on
yeah,
him.
yeah, all of that. I
And
remember
which
all
which
that
he
very well.
won.
But
He
Yes,
won
he
his
did.
Right.
lawsuit. It was
And he
him.
kept his
That
they
job.
yeah,
there were some
they
other plaintiffs that were named in the lawsuit, and at the time before Judge Rogers became Judge Edward Rogers, he was an attorney here in Palm Beach County, and they picked a good lawyer. And
Yes, he
he
Hmm.
Judge Rogers applied to attend the University of Miami, and they accepted him. That is until they found out he was a black man and wrote him a letter and told him he wouldn't be able to attend the University of Miami Law School because he was black. And so, like a lot of law school students, ended up at Howard University to get his law degree. But he represented them. My dad was the lead plaintiff, and then there were other fellow officers. There were some who was like, "Hey, man, why don't you just leave it alone?" There were some who said, "Why don't you just quit?" There were some who left and went over to the sheriff department, which they tried to pressure him into doing, and he said no, and he stuck to
Yeah.
what he knew was right, and ended up winning his lawsuit. And so, West Palm Beach Police Department, by force, not by choice, became integrated.
Integrated.
Um,
Right.
and so that is some good history there. Anything else anybody wanted to say about that?
No,
Pretty much. Well, a lot of times
you
we
set
didn't
up.
see.
But it will be forever a part of history, even though most people won't know about it. But it will still be part of history for that police department. No matter
Oh
how
yeah.
much they try to bury it, it's still a part of that history.
And
But he
indeed they
didn't
did. They tried to act
he
like
didn't
he never even
reflect
worked
on
there.
And then the
What were you
pressure
saying,
you had
Deidre?
on
and he
your
didn't
own
reflect on it.
neighborhood, as being a
Yeah, oh
policeman,
yeah.
that they try to put on them that
Let's
right
talk
and tickets.
about let's talk about why he did not really talk about unless it was to us privately, and our mother shared with me, there were some things that I'm just finding out in the past week or so. She said he never wanted the fanfare. He wanted to do what was right, but it was not for him to get in the newspaper or get on TV or the radio. Say he never wanted the fanfare. And do you know everywhere he went, it was somebody that knew him.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hey James Hall, hey Buckethead, that was his nickname. Hey Buckethead. And then for me, when I wrote my books and more people started learning about the history of Riviera Beach, then all of a sudden everybody was a friend of James Hall. Everybody knew everybody know James Hall. Every meeting I went to, that's
he
all
was.
they talked about.
Yeah,
And
he
after
said
people
he
would
was
be like,
out
I
there.
don't know who that is.
He
Right.
said he was out there. He tried. He did more. He tried helping people. You know.
Right,
Right.
But
Right.
he said he was a professional. He was a professional at what he did. And
right.
being a policeman, that's what he did. He took his job serious. And
Yeah,
that's
he
how
took
he
his
handled
job.
it. He said he was he
Anything
tried
that
helping.
he did, he took it serious. If
Yeah,
if he didn't do the best at it, he wouldn't do it. He's always told us that.
right. He
Do the
shared some
best.
things with me,
Don't do it
for
all.
being a police officer out there, you gotta have a strong mind and all. There's a lot going to it. And like you said, you gotta have somebody that can have your back out there too. Sometimes they share with us after
And
we got
so
older, that kind of
especially about what he saw.
so
yeah.
yeah. So we do know that he delivered that on record that I know was he delivered 3 babies while he was a patrolman. And for those who want to learn more about him, you can go to my Facebook page. It's Deborah S. Hall, Debrah, and then S and then Hall, and you will see newspaper articles and pictures and things that I've shared. That's also included in my book, Riviera Beach Moments Volume One. He's in that book, and in the book, when I interview him, he talked about um, how back in the day, black people weren't even allowed to go over the bridge, and actually
Right.
there was a law written where black people were not allowed over that bridge on Singer Island. And so he shared that.
Without a
But,
work permit.
Yeah.
Right. You
You
had to
had to
have
go out.
yeah,
If you want to go to the beach, we had to go all the way to Jupiter Beach up there to the inlet up there. That's the
Yeah,
only place you could
right.
go.
And if you
That's
did
all.
try to go over there, there's plenty of harassment until you left.
right.
Hmm.
Okay.
we didn't
Which we
start
spent a
going to
lot of.
Single
I
Island Beach to the 70s.
I can't really
Yeah.
remember a time where I couldn't go over there. By the time I was born, we spent a lot of time at the beach
I know all the
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
time.
Okay.
Don't remind me.
That's
Man,
good.
what
Yeah, that was
we
Remember
were
one
out there
time.
once with James catching fish, and I was hoping he wouldn't catch no more fish
Yeah.
because I knew we were gonna have to clean them all.
Pick 'em up and all this stuff. Yeah. For
Oh
me and
God,
Gil
don't even
catch
Oh,
mention
these.
cleaning fish.
coolers
Now that was something he was
full
passionate
of
about.
fish.
He was very
He
passionate
started
about
with me and
fishing.
Gil taking us. I think once we got to that certain age, he started spending more time getting us around, around 14, 15, get, that was, most of who was already like working with granddad on the weekend. And
Oh yeah, doing lawn service. So
sometimes when
he
the day was longer, we was over down in the lake or in the ocean. We went from Singing Island and Jupiter Island hunting fish.
Hmm.
We had fun doing it all. We spent a lot of time
yeah.
together, all of us.
It
Jupiter
was
Beach, Singing Island,
The
everywhere.
money with them fish.
yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was good.
he was passionate about some things. Fishing was one. He would fish with a net. He had his own boat. He made his own cast nets. And another thing he became passionate about closer to when he retired was golf.
Golf.
Played in and won plenty golf tournaments. He was a
Yeah.
member of the Fairview Golf Club, and he did a lot of giving back, especially on the weekends with teaching young people the game of golf. Taught his grandchildren how to play golf, especially Amber. She ended up playing golf at her high school where they won a state championship. And Amber is also in the African American Collegiate Golfers Hall of Fame. And I wanted to show one thing. I didn't get a chance to upload a picture where he has a recognition from the National Geographic Society. And one of the things he loved to do was read all kinds of
Mhm.
books, magazines, any kind of book. That man's been around the world and back many times through reading, and not just reading. He would read a book and actually take notes and keep his
Yeah.
notes. And I have notes that our mother gave me over the weekend back from 2003 from a book that he read on the Holocaust, where he took notes out of the book and kept it. But this is a certificate. I don't know if you can see it from
Okay.
National Geographic. Um, it says the
That's
officers
nice.
and board of trustees have enrolled James Hall as a member of the National Geographic Society. This is from January 2013. And another thing I want to say is we know through looking oh Janine's on here. I'm sorry, Angela Muhammad. Here she comes. Yay, she
Hey
made it.
guys.
Really?
Hey,
Hey.
Look,
Finally,
little Alicia.
finally.
Alicia coming in on the Honda.
Hey,
Woo! She made
Janine, welcome
it.
to the new world.
All right,
Glad
so
to
I
see you.
almost
we
was
just
in
been
tears.
Oh.
What was
I
I was
that?
saw you on
almost in
there.
tears. I
You like,
know, but
"You're
I just had
not gonna make it."
I, no, I had to change up some
So I'm
stuff.
glad you're on here.
Phones, laptops, computers,
Okay,
microphones, but I'm
Okay.
here.
well,
I
you
Okay.
missed
made
most of
it.
the
So next
pictures.
time
Yeah.
no,
no,
you only
we'll
missed
I
like
only
three
show
pictures.
yeah,
Oh,
I only
okay.
it's like 100 pictures to go through here. So I only showed
It,
him we were talking about his passions, which is fishing and golfing. We talked about
yeah.
his career as a police officer, and basically he was a agent of change and how
Yes, he
he
was.
changed history. Um Somebody sent me a message here in the chat room. But y'all continue. I don't have to lead the conversation. I'm going to roll through these pictures and then oh,
Okay.
Amber said we got her laughing. Okay. So I'm gonna roll through these pictures. Oh Lord, how I get back to the pictures. I'm gonna roll through these
Yeah.
pictures. And the pictures are gonna show in the middle, but keep talking, please.
Okay.
I don't have to take the
Okay.
lead on this.
Another
I
thing he
showed
was
their
passionate
marriage
about.
certificate.
Go ahead.
Say that again.
Now I'm saying, go ahead.
Oh, well, we showed the group picture. We showed the group picture that we took in July. Imma show that one again and just, catch you up. So what Imma do, Imma roll through these because there's so many, and then I have a couple of videos to show. And then, you know, Miss Mary wanted us to share good memories of him and
Of
laugh a little
course.
bit like we've been doing. And,
Okay,
Of
Lord.
course.
yeah, okay, so Imma roll through the pictures. So y'all got the floor. Just keep on talking. This is,
I,
like I said, this is from
Yeah,
July,
this is
and
good.
then this is him, uh, somebody ruffling
I have
peppers.
what I
Is
think
somebody
is
eating tater
a
chips?
I have what I
No.
think is a good memory.
But
Yeah, Jimmy.
and this is dealing
Okay,
with
go ahead.
one of my passions, which is helping the youth. But one day, this is, mind you, this came after I was getting in trouble. I wrote the lady's window down the street, not doing my work in
I
class,
remember.
forging Mirror's signature on the referral I got, and all that kind of stuff that I was
Oh
doing when I was in the fifth
my.
grade.
Well, it was
So
that bad
James,
now. Hold on.
he got me in the car and he just rolled me from Third Street to First Street and back home. So he drove me around the block, and when we got to the corner of First and Australian, James said, "Hey, you see those boys sitting there?" He said, "In 5 years, there's gonna be a new group of boys sitting on that block, and those guys that's sitting there, they're gonna be either dead or in jail." And I kid you not, 5 years passed
Hmm.
by. It was a new group on the block, and them guys was either dead or in jail. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember that
Oh.
all the way up to this day. I use that as an example a lot when I'm talking to young men to get them to listen, because James was able to direct our life in such a way where we avoided all of that stuff. You know, we
That's
still
true.
here, and
right.
we're able to help our children avoid that stuff because of what he taught us. He was definitely a man of principles, and he
Right.
wanted you to do right. You know,
Mm.
I
Mhm.
really appreciate that type of interaction that I had with James all throughout, my adult hood, being able to have a father that had the foresight to talk to me that way and be stern enough to redirect my life. I really appreciate that about James. That's the thing that I
Mm.
really remember the most, is the
Mhm.
conversations I had with him that really impacted my decision making.
Yeah.
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 Even when he used to be talking about felonies like he got getting now, I ain't even know nothing about what a felony was. He said, yeah, and they ain't gonna have nothing on the record. He was that old, young. We
Hmm.
got up I think we was about 15 or so. We was outside, he came out, he said, hey, don't get in no trouble or nothing. I ain't got no money to come down there and get you out. He just said that now, left it like that.
Yeah,
It
I
let you
remember
know,
he said it.
don't do nothing
Mm.
stupid and get yourself in a situation because he ain't got nothing to
Right.
come down. Yeah,
Right.
so
Right.
that was a
That's
deterrent
true.
right there. Don't go out doing that, but we weren't thinking like that. He was just talking. He always said,
Right.
remember what I'm telling you, just in case, they were way back, you know.
Right.
He said, just in case I'm not here one day, just remember what I'm telling you. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. And
Right.
that's ain't that because just pay attention and don't be, it take fathers and sons, the communication you have with your sons, it's good. 'Cause he said he always wanted a family and stuff like that, but communication
Right.
is good with all of us. He taught to
It's-
stick together. One got, everybody got, like he used to say.
Okay, Gary.
Who's on the government sheet, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mhm.
But,
That's
yeah,
true.
Okay, Gary. Thank
yeah,
you. Thank
yeah.
you. I
You
want to
know what?
give
Especially
Janine
about
the
being
opportunity
observant.
Advice.
since this is her first time
This is my
to
first time.
you're getting
Ah.
long winded. You gotta just thank you.
Well,
So we're
I
gonna
just say,
while you're talking, I'm just gonna show a couple of pictures of
oh sure.
okay. Wait, before you start, I wanted to
Go ahead.
explain to our audience why we call our parents by their first name because a lot of people think it's disrespectful that we grew up
Uh-huh.
calling our parents by their first name. They asked us to, from what I remember, to address
Yeah,
them
that's what
by
they
their first
wanted.
name. Our parents were different. They weren't old fashioned, with they were with their discipline and everything, but there are a lot of things that they did differently. So remember, these
Right.
are these are 60s and 70s growing up
Right.
people, and
Right.
Right.
a lot of
I
things we
remember
all
the
learned
day that I
together.
switched
So
from daddy
they
to
were a little
James.
different.
James asked
Yeah,
me.
I mean, they
He
gave us
said,
permission.
he said, "Can you say James?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, start using it then. Stop saying daddy all the time. That ain't nothing but baby talk. Mama and daddy is
And
for babies. You ain't a baby no more." But it
all
makes
right,
sense, and
yeah,
he's telling the truth. Mama and
That's
daddy
true.
and Baba, are all terms for babies because they really can't speak the language.
Yeah.
Right.
But when
yeah.
you grow out of that, you should grow out of the baby talk and you start using the language that people understand. So,
Right.
he switched us
Yeah,
over.
'cause a lot of people ask us why we call our mom and daddy by that name. I told them
Hmm
I grew up like that.
It's
Yeah.
That's how
actually
you
a,
grow up.
a sign of intelligence. That's why we
Right.
call them by our first names because you can speak now. You
Right.
should be able to use the language.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna give Miss Angela a chance to go ahead. This
Oh.
was your first time. You have the
Oh.
sure man, the
Okay. Thank
the
you.
floor. Mhm.
Hi, everyone. The main thing I wanted to say is that we were always reminded that we were blessed to have both our parents in the household with us, raising us as a unit, one unit. So a lot of times, people that I speak with, they say to me, "Well, Sister Angela, you're blessed," or they'll say you're lucky. Use that term because you have your father and your mother. Some people I speak with only had one parent in the household, so we sort of had an advantage by having both our parents raise us. But we were always taught that just be the best you can be. Everything that they instilled in us is still a part of our lives, of course. And the main thing that I remember James always teaching us is never be afraid to try. Go out there and do your best at
hmm
whatever it is that you're doing. As girls, we were a little bit more sheltered than the boys, of course,
Yeah.
because we
A
were girls.
little bit.
But we understood why, and he told us why and explained that to us. And he said, "Well, don't never let nobody change you for being the person that you are." So a lot of that he taught us, music was always a part of our lives. I was telling my mom that just this morning that music was we grew up with that. In the household on the weekends, every day you had some type of music playing, and then he was a lover of music. And it's not too many things that they did just separately without us. Everything was always including us in it, whatever it was, whatever it entailed. All of us were a part of it. The children, like I said, people would say, you don't have this, you don't, but we never saw it that way. To me, I never experienced not having what I wanted because every time I asked for something, they tried to make a way. I'm sure my dad did try to make a way for us to have what we wanted. So it was never where I can't get this or I can't. He said, well, don't worry about it, and next thing you know, you have it. So they always made a way for us. And I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, so let's take this down memory lane.
Down memory lane.
Yeah, we're going down memory lane because I remember when we had one black and white TV
Oh yeah.
and we at night, it was whatever he watched. And what was it, Jimmy? PBS News Hour,
Oh
Tony
yeah.
Yeah,
Brown's
or
Journal,
mash or something.
man.
I actually like
And
Turner
listen,
Brown's
A war,
journal.
when
a war,
when the
something
news was
about the
on
war.
and Tony Brown's Journal to me
Turn
and
around,
Jimmy, because we
journal.
was little kids, everything was funny, right?
Yeah.
So we be sitting
Yeah.
there picking at each other and stuff. Better not laugh. You better not make no noise either while he's watching Tony Brown's Journal or the PBS News Hour. And
Mm-mm.
in the morning, WJNO News while we getting ready to go to school. And then
Right.
on the weekend, remember he had that record player, whether you sleep or not. He gonna put
That's
on
what I
that record
say.
player, the one that was slow, and he played Kiss. It don't matter if you feel every Saturday. It
Yeah.
was that.
Every
It was
Saturday.
if it ain't one thing, it's another. And no
Right.
pain, no gain. He go play those three songs
That's what I
every
said. Music
Saturday
was
morning.
always there. We always had
Hmm
music
hmm
all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
all
Mhm.
types
If
of
it,
Grew up on that. Some of them old songs that he would be playing on the record, I still remember 'em.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Playing 'em. Yeah.
So,
Good
you
enough.
know,
going
he
to the
has quite
beach,
the
fishing.
I
Yeah.
remember
Rap
Mira told me
repertoire.
a story of James
That's a
listening
good
to some
fishing.
music when she first met him, and he was
Oh
listening
yeah,
to jazz. She
oh
said
yeah.
he listened to the stuff for hours, and she was like, "I don't know how he can listen to the stuff. It just sounds like boop bop boop bop." Boop." But she grew to like the music, and
Yeah.
I, as a child, I
Mhm.
listened to the jazz. I couldn't really get into it, but by the time I hit my 20s, it all made sense. I could
Mhm.
understand what they were doing.
Right.
And
Right.
it's really like for for intelligent people, they say Beethoven and jazz are something that challenges your mind. And I really believe that's why he listened to a lot of that type of music because, James was a pretty deep thinker. And
Yeah.
like
He was
far
real
as
Mhm.
deep.
knowing
Like he
something,
said,
them together, Mary and James. But
Right.
since we're talking about James knew something about practically everything.
Everything.
You
Everything.
couldn't have a conversation and
Mhm.
he didn't know
He didn't
facts
know.
about it because he read so many books.
Yeah.
he said you ain't never too old to learn, even if
That's right.
Hmm
Oh
Right.
yeah,
he
he
quit.
did like reading a lot of
Ain't
books.
no,
That's
Yeah.
right.
you don't care how old you ain't never too old to
Oh,
learn.
that's in with the oxygen.
Yeah, and
But you know,
honestly,
he
because
was
they
the head
read
of
so
the
many
choir.
books,
He said,
they made us
The
avid
head of the
readers.
choir. Oh, remember when he joined the church at Mount Calvary, he was singing in the choir. Wasn't that
Seen
choir
it
number
twice.
1? He sung in the choir.
Okay.
Look,
I
Yeah,
remember
and
remember when he
I
that.
taught Sunday school?
Yeah, I
I
remember
really
that.
appreciate James going to Mount Calvary because he opened my eyes to a lot of politicalness within the
yeah,
Oh,
Right.
church and how to
especially
deal
that
with
part.
people.
Yeah.
You're
Not only
right.
church, school, work, you know, to be confrontational sometimes about certain
That's
things
so. That's what he
and
taught.
also to just watch people, because
Right.
Yeah,
a lot of times we go to
Yeah.
we go to church as sheep, and I thank God I had a father who was able to point out stuff to me to look out for while I was there, and not just
Yeah.
take everything in because you're at church.
At church.
I
Right.
really
Yeah,
appreciate that.
though. First
I
time.
hold
appreciate
that
that.
thought. Hold that thought.
he was
Amber
joking.
said Grandpa James is part of the reason I tell people I have an old soul. The music he listened to ranged from all genres. That's a message from
Hmm
Amber. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, awesome, Amber.
And
Thank you.
so I knew
But
when he signed up for Sunday school, just like somebody else with his same name talking about they go teach Sunday school. I knew that wasn't gonna last. I knew that wasn't gonna last long.
I
Mary, she
I
So
went
was
in
I
there.
asked him.
no, but
saying
Jimmy,
Mary
right? You know,
got things turned
I've
around.
mixed a lot of Black history in my Sunday school lesson, which
Yeah.
they seem to appreciate. It's just that the timing, you know, I
Yeah.
that
yeah,
wasn't forced out. I just wasn't able to do it anymore. But
Yeah.
people
right.
enjoyed it. People like the truth. They just
Right.
don't like the pressure from having to speak the truth. They will love you for saying it.
So
Like
As
Yeah.
long as they don't
were
have.
James is well
were any of
respected
y'all
in the
in his class?
community, but a lot of people they're just not gonna go down that road with him. They're
Right.
They want
Were
to
they're
get
any
they're
of
back.
not
y'all
gonna
in his
have enough
class?
courage to stand up against the police department or speak out against stuff that they know is wrong. And that's
Yeah.
something he always encouraged us to do.
Yeah.
I
Some
I do
people
it with our children now
speak
because
up.
he told me don't let the teacher tell you to do something and
Tell
you
you
know it's
right.
wrong. I don't care if you are 10 years
That's
old.
right.
You tell them
Right.
you're not doing it, you know?
That's what he
But
used to say.
yeah, that
You have to
mentality
be
that he
bold.
had is something that a lot of people don't share. They just don't have that type of courage.
Like he told us,
Right.
back when I was in the second grade, back when they had the thing back to um, standing up for the
For the
The
flag.
flag.
flag and all
Yeah.
that. They used to do this. mornings and stuff like
Pledge.
that. It was really
Mm.
something else. That's when they even show. I can remember back then he was on the force. They were still showing Little Black Sambo in school. You know,
Mm.
Oh
that
yeah.
Yeah.
racial
We went to
uh,
school.
cartoon, and they were
Mm-hmm.
still showing it in there. You know, and I remember that well. But he made the thing. He made us aware.
Right.
That's what I can
Very
say.
He
aware.
made us.
And like
He
Jimmy
made us.
said, stand up for the truth.
Yeah.
It made us
That's what
proud
Jimmy
black
said.
people. We were
Oh yeah,
proud
Mm-hmm.
he
to be black people.
Yeah.
He made
your
sure that
blackness
we
was
stood
at the
up for it.
forefront. I mean, we discussed
Yeah.
slavery. We discussed what happened to us prior to, how we got
Yeah.
over here. All that we was taught all of that. We didn't learn
Right.
this in
At
school.
home.
This was
They
taught
gave
at
us books.
home.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gave us
books.
encyclopedias, books of all kind, magazine, Jet magazine, Ebony
Yeah.
Junior,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Ebony
Yeah, I
magazine,
When
all
we
remember
went
that.
to
that.
school, there was a
Right
lot
there.
of racial tension in school with us.
oh
See,
yeah.
when
We used to
we
have
went
to
to
fight,
school.
but they told us to fight too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
They
right.
told us to fight. You better
That's
stand
right.
up and fight.
Then if you
Yeah.
didn't, they'd just lie on you and say you did do something like
So,
that. It was,
Yeah,
it was that kind of atmosphere then. You
We
know,
had it in
yeah.
were any of
school.
where
were
it was
any of y'all in his
I
Sunday
had
school
white kids
class?
try to jump on me in school. Two of them.
Mm.
Yeah, at Lincoln.
I
You
don't.
talking
What
about?
what
That happened at school
age did he
on
teach?
the playground. And
I
I
think he
beat
Sunday
taught.
both of
school?
them up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
he taught
remember.
Sunday
Made me
school,
stand
but
up in front of the classroom like
oh
I
Lord.
did something wrong.
I don't remember
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
what
remember
age he
him
taught.
teaching Sunday
he taught
school
Sunday
and
school.
being a part of the choir.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah.
he
sang in the
wasn't like
I
a
choir.
remember
primary
he.
teacher at the
I don't.
Sunday school. He did it just
I don't know
for a
what
short
age he
period of
taught.
time.
I
Right.
think he taught the
Yeah,
adult class.
I
No,
think
or was a young
both.
adult.
Yeah,
But one of the
I think he.
discussions, he was giving the people in the Sunday school class like the lesson in life today, and he said he was trying to make it relatable to them, and somebody said something to him about, oh, you're supposed to teach it the way the Bible says, and he said, how am I
Hmm.
gonna get these people to understand? And back then they ain't
I
even had
remember
no
that.
showers for people to take a bath.
I remember that. And what they would and my dad was saying that what they were trying to do is keep him from actually getting his children to be able to
The
understand that hey,
yeah.
what happened in the Bible is not necessarily what's happened in the past, but you can see it in today's time if you look at the circumstances and relate it to your life. But
Yeah,
it's one of those things where
You have to
he
know
has
where
the
you stand.
personality to where everywhere he went, he became the leader, president, the person in
always in
charge, whatever the
charge.
case may be.
He
He was
was
always that person.
respect.
And that's what I'm talking about, the politicalness
Yeah,
of church, where when you're starting to be liked, but you're not controlled, that's a problem. So
that's when
Yeah.
they start having a
every
problem.
organization, really, people going to start working against you.
Hmm.
They're
Right.
going to
Hmm.
see that you have a attraction, and then they're going to start working against you
Of
Yeah.
to
course,
stop you.
What
of
And I think
course.
what was you saying,
that's
Alicia?
most of what he faced in that
Oh,
Yeah.
situation.
oh,
What was
I
you
Alicia was
say
saying,
I
speaking.
Alicia?
was respected.
Yeah,
Wherever he went, he was respected. You
Hmm.
know, in any organization that he was involved in, he was respected in that organization.
right.
Whether he was there or if he was just a member, he was respected.
Hmm.
And um, when Amber was when she was inducted into that golfers Hall of Fame, there was a lady, but at the time I didn't know because he James was the type of person he never talked about himself. He never said I did this or I did that or whatever. But there were some things that she was like, well, I heard your dad was a caddy, and I was looking at her like, where you heard that at? I was like, no, I ain't heard that. But he and then he said, "Yeah, I was." I said,
That's
"Oh, well, I didn't know." But he never talked about in a sense of like bragging about what all he
Mm-hmm.
did, what he experienced. He never talked about it that way. But he would tell you something if he thought it would
mm,
help you, in the long run, make you a better person. Then he would talk to
Right.
you. And he was the type of person, if he didn't like what you was doing, he was gonna let you
He'll
know whether
tell
you
you.
like whether you
he
wanted to
don't
hear it
tell
or
you.
not.
Right.
And
He was
if
gonna
you
tell you.
need to make a change, he was gonna let you know that he didn't like what you were doing.
Exactly. He would
He
let you know for
said
sure.
he said anybody he cussed out, he said anybody he cussed out, he meant it and didn't mind doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's what
I
he
have a
said.
message, another message from Amber. She said whenever I had a conversation with him about pledging to the flag, he made me realize that it wasn't for black people and that pledging
Mm-mm.
to a piece of cloth was a bunch of bull. To me, to me, it was another form of idolizing something. So that's a message
Oh
from
wow.
Amber.
Well, it is really.
Somebody headphones is rubbing your microphone. That might be you, Sister Angela. Who is it?
My my headphones is rubbing.
Yeah, it's
It
It's
might be
a
me. I
bit of
don't know.
static.
But
yeah, still static. It's all
yeah,
right.
it might be your microphone rubbing up against your clothes. But that's okay.
Okay.
Most of these pictures I'm gonna show at the end because honestly, this thing is so slow. Oh, somebody just got off. Somebody, everybody, what's going on?
I'm on.
I
I'm
would.
I'm still.
froze. Everybody
Everybody's
Yeah,
on.
froze.
You
yeah.
probably can't see us.
Okay,
I
well,
can
let me
see
show
No, I
me
can
you.
see
back.
everybody.
I can see everybody.
Okay,
Yeah, we started
don't
talking
log
about the
off.
flag. They gotta cut it off.
Okay, don't log off. Yeah,
Then
they
said
done get
that
in there and did some things.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna show the pictures at the very end. 'Cause there's
Okay.
quite a few, and I have
Okay.
some video, and oh my god, that might take long
Didn't talk about
for
the
this
the
thing to
bean
load, but
pot.
I
We
am
gonna talk
going
about
to
that. Did you hear what I said? Nobody talked about the
talk
bean
about what
pot.
now?
The bean pot. When it
The
got
bean
cold, he
Oh,
part.
his beans and
throw
his
the pot of
pigtails. Every
beans.
time,
Yes. When the pea feet.
Ugh.
every time it gets
I,
Yeah,
cold
he
or
like the lime
rains,
beans.
he gonna
He
put on a
like
pot
them
of
lime
beans.
beans. Yeah.
we always had pots of food because it was a lot of us. So Mary always cooked big pots or something. So
Yeah.
beans, rice, whatever it was always a big pot of something for all of us.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
fish.
but and fish every
That's
day.
right on
That came
me
that when
now.
they yeah, 'cause, they start I
I
guess
love
everything's
fish.
getting expensive, so we went to the fish and vegetables and stuff. And
Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember at that time. I don't think he was really working that great, and we went to the fish and
No.
stuff.
Fish,
It didn't bother me
But
after
we
a while.
but
I
we
ain't
didn't miss
paying
the
no
meal.
attention.
fish. What was it?
We
But
fish
Fish,
every
sweet
night.
fish,
potatoes,
sweet
rice,
potatoes,
and field
black eyed peas,
peas.
and rice.
What we had for
Yep.
dinner? Fish, sweet
Fish.
potatoes, rice.
I'm over here 'cause we
Black
were
Yeah,
going
black
over
eyed
checking
peas.
all
That's what it
them
was.
melons and stuff, man.
Day
I we
number
were
4.
trying to.
Hold on now, fish.
I get with
But it was good though.
six
Some
kids,
to
yeah,
this
we
day,
can
some
make
people
something
won't
work.
eat fish that much, but I love it.
I love it. We survived off of it. It was good for us.
I
And
got with
we never missed the beach. The beach was like it wasn't foreign to us because we were always there. We were always fishing. And like
always
I
mm-hmm.
there.
told him, I said when I go to the fish market, it's not fresh. He said, "Yeah, you got spoiled because you used to eat fresh
Yeah.
fish all the time." Because I caught it with the net, and I'm like, "Yeah, you spoiled me like that." But we
Yeah.
never, we never went
It
without
was
anything. Like I said before, we always had it. But one thing I noticed about my dad, he never complained. I never heard him sit around complaining about oh this and oh that.
Now that,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Never,
Yep.
Yep.
never complained. No matter how hard it
never
Yep.
was,
complained.
how
Never.
tired he was,
Yeah. He never
anything
complained.
that we want. I never heard him sit down and complain about either he saying he can't do it or he won't
Mm-hmm.
do it. I never heard him say that throughout his entire life. And
And
I honor him for that.
we were
I
fortunate
really
enough
do.
to get a chance to
Mm.
actually work with him. And that was
Yeah,
showing
y'all
me
work with
his
him.
work ethic and how he did when he came to work. I wasn't talking and going. He went on out there, did his job, put it 8 hours in, went down, get in the car, and go home.
Go
Now
Oh
home.
he
yeah.
did. He the white thing, get out there, get a face going, and that was it for him for the day.
Yeah.
Lunchtime we sat down, so that gave us a chance to see me too, to see how
Yeah, but he
his
was
work.
always a foreman on the
So,
job, the
oh, go
this,
ahead.
That's
that,
right.
you know.
He wasn't
Yeah, he was
one.
always a foreman. He
You
would
know,
take
some people come on
charge.
the
Yeah.
job talking all the time, but he wasn't like that. That's why too. Like he said, if I can
Yeah.
help them make money and they can help me make money, that's how
Yeah,
that go.
that's how we ended up always running a job. I was a labor foreman out there in the union.
Kept him
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. But he always was like never
So
complaining, so
let's talk about his work after he left the police department. He got into construction work where he was a member of local union 767 back then. And then he
mhm.
was part of building the Phoenix Towers, which
Town.
Yeah.
were the first condos built on Singer
On
Island.
Singer
And so that's
Island.
where
Right.
he told me when I interviewed him for the book. Yeah, he said that's when they discovered Henry Ford's railroad tracks out there still on the beach.
Yeah,
They
that was
just
me and
covered them
Gary
up with
thought
sand.
that.
So those railroad
Yeah, I
tracks are
saw
still there. And
those.
at the
Me and
time,
Gary got
Them
those
a
those
after
deep
we
were
see
hole.
that.
the
Yeah,
those
we
were
was way.
We saw the trash.
so back then those were the tallest buildings on Singer Island. Now they're the smallest.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
worked on the Tierra too. All of us worked on the Tierra together too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's on
Sierra
Singer Island.
condominium,
Yeah, we
right?
worked
Mhm.
that too.
We helped with
And
the
then
Trump Plaza.
But I
what
know
I
the
just
building
found
over there.
out, the Trump Plaza as well. And then, he went
Yeah.
all down to Fort Lauderdale and Miami working. And then
Me and Gary worked downtown.
he helped build part of Riviera Beach City Hall.
Paradigm,
Yeah, he did.
He helped build City
Mall,
Hall,
Paradigm
which
on
was
Palm Beach.
I can't remember the architect's name. So he did a lot in construction. He was able to retire with that union,
Yeah.
and he retired in his 50s. Somebody's microphone still rubbing. I don't know who it is.
That's me.
You think it's mine?
Yeah.
Cause I'm moving. Oh, it's right
Yeah,
here.
your microphone is rubbing on your clothes. Yeah,
Those. Yeah.
yeah. When you
Okay.
move
Yeah.
it, it
Too.
like sounds like static.
Maybe I
So Miss
take.
Amber
Maybe I
has
take
been
this piece of.
texting away. Let me read a couple more of these. Yeah, you can take it now. You can still hear.
I just. Yeah, I can
Okay.
Yeah.
still hear.
So it
Morning.
says, okay, this is definitely him. She said, this is Amber again. I went to New Orleans on a girls' trip and posted a picture to Facebook. He said, hey, man, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, but I don't like the drinking. She said, all I could say was, yes, sir. And she said, it's so funny how, she said, it's so funny how all of you have pieces of him in the way you talk. We do. All you say,
Mhm.
and that's something he always said. And
Yeah.
every time he would ask me to do something, even when he was
Mhm.
texting me, "Hey man, I
Mhm.
need you to so and so and so and so." It's just that old talk, I guess back from the 70s. Every sentence start with "Hey man,
Man.
hey man,"
Well,
and
I
then
I
he would end his
eliminated the
sentence,
man
"I
part. I
need you
just
to
say
so and
hey to
so and so
people.
and so,"
Yeah.
and then at
You
the
know,
end
you
of
don't think
whatever he
of
asked
the
for, he would say, "Think
you
of
don't
what?"
think of that stuff that you do unconsciously that you inherit.
Yeah.
That's
But
right.
Yeah.
I say hey a lot when I start talking, and people at work pointed that out
Mhm.
to me. They said, "Jay, why do you say hey and we
Hey.
standing here? You know, you looking at us and we looking at you.
Yeah,
Why
I
are
do
you
that.
saying hey before you start talking?" I said, "I don't know, but I know now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know why I do it."
yeah, get that
That
from
was
him.
Johnny
Yeah,
do.
it's coming to you now.
And
All of a sudden,
then
it's a lot of stuff that's
if
coming to
if
me now.
if he would ask me something, he would hit the end of his sentence. Would you do that for me, please?
Yeah.
I say,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mhm.
sir, no problem. Whatever you want.
Mhm.
I know one thing, me and him wore Amazon out the past couple of months. Hey man, get this book for me. Hey man, I need a
Yeah.
That
boom
was my book.
box. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That was James. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we had some good time, and he was funny, but
He
I
was
don't think
funny.
he really realized how funny he was when
I
he
don't
Mm-hmm.
would
think he
when he would
did.
say stuff
Got me
and say
cracking up.
things about people. It was hilarious to me.
I know.
Still been
Oh
laughing
boy,
about
a
that
good
till late.
man.
A really good person.
Was.
Yeah. I'm glad we were able to be here and getting back being here every day. We got a
Yeah.
chance, me and Gary, being the guys
Yeah,
and being so fun. He really appreciated that, and I think it's a blessing all the way around. We were able to be here.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
to see
Yeah. He did
where he
talk about
was when
how
I got here, and
about being.
and all the way up, I was still talking, and you wouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
been able to tell. You couldn't tell, like something that just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell he was going down, but John still wasn't like, just like,
Yeah.
well, just like he
yeah. He
he
wasn't
ain't
fading.
stay in
His
that
memory
bed.
was strong.
Yeah. Memory
Yeah,
is strong.
all of that.
I
Mm-hmm.
told you
It
he didn't complain
all.
about anything.
No,
He
he
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't.
really
complain.
does.
I say, I will ask. I say, how you feeling today? I'm
Nothing.
good. I'm good, man. I'm good. Never that. Oh, that. Every now and then he would, like he was like, I got this throat infection. I was like, what you talking about? But other than that, he wasn't complaining at all about anything. Every time I would
Mm-mm.
ask, are you in pain or anything? No, I'm good. I'm good. He'll text me, I'm
You
good
asked
with a
me how I
heart.
was doing. I wanted to
I'm
get back on my feet, you
I
I'm
know.
gonna
like
tell
that
you
picture.
the funny thing about talking to James. I don't care what you're talking about. When you get to a certain point, hey man, I'm better get out the fall.
Hey, you
I don't care what
Yeah.
you're talking about. When he get to the limit, he just go back. Hey man, I'm better get out the phone. I'm better go
know,
right
Yeah,
now.
well,
I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Say, we'll chat another time. That's what he was saying. We'll chat another time.
mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
like, he
that's what he was
he put
saying.
it right in the middle of the sentence.
I think, but all that helped him too over
Yeah, it
all the
did.
matches. That helped
I think
everybody
so.
out calling and you
I
know
think so.
Yeah,
that
Colin.
helped
Yeah.
him out a lot.
But
Every
one thing I will say, everything that he set out to do in his lifetime, he said he accomplished it. Even towards the end, he said, like he was telling me, he said, "Well, first I'm gonna go see Jimmy." He said, "Because I want to see I want to go to Tennessee and see where he is and what he's doing and how he's doing." And then we got there, he was so satisfied. Then the next
Hmm.
thing he said, "Then
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Leisha's," and he had strength to do all that. He was telling me what he was gonna do, and he
yeah,
made it happen.
it did.
Because,
Hmm
like I said, whatever goal he set for himself, he went
Yeah.
ahead and accomplished that. And
Mhm.
then after he did that, he was satisfied,
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Like
which
really
was
making
Well,
those
really
like I
good.
said,
transplants. That was
he just
amazing.
said that's something he always
Yeah.
dreamed of, So there was Jimmy at. He said
well,
that
he
is
hmm
something
said
I
he had a
always
this,
dreamed
so
of. It's quiet
He
and it's
called. He called me while he was up there. He said, "Janine, you won't believe it." And I'm like, "James, you sound so good and happy, because that's what he wanted to do." And he said he felt great. He said, "I feel great,"
yeah.
yep,
because he always said that. He said, "I feel
yep.
great, man." He
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
said, "You wouldn't believe it." That's how he kept saying it.
He
He
said, I
said, "I
never
feel
could have
great."
imagined. He said, just being down there trying to think, like, he said, I never could have imagined how it looks. He said, something I always dreamed of. Like, something like this.
Yeah, yeah, that's something. But
Peaceful,
everything he set out to do, he
yeah.
wanted to do. He did that.
We're
Hmm.
going to go to the football game if it wouldn't got too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He
He
was
said he's
already
gonna
going.
go.
Yeah, he was
That's
going
true.
to go. They
Well,
got
But
he
the
I
top
mean,
right.
just from the experience of him being the coach, and I mean, in our
Yeah.
community, he was like the community father. Everybody looked up to him. Like Lisha said, everybody respected him no matter where he went. Everywhere he went, he knew everybody. But
yep,
he was very well respected. The class respected him. His high school classmates respected him. Everybody respected James. So
Hmm.
it was always, to me, that was an honor for me no
Yeah.
matter where I went. I'm
Take
like, well,
care of
that's my dad,
yourself.
you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
How you carry yourself. That's like you said when we
Yeah.
used to go
Hey,
around with him.
Renard.
He was like, hey.
How y'all doing?
Hey,
All right.
RJ.
Hey, Auntie, how
Well,
you doing?
It's
well,
Renard, not
Good.
Janine.
yeah.
Oh, it's,
Angela.
He,
James,
he,
oh,
James,
Yeah, devil
James
gone,
told
huh?
That ain't RJ no more.
James,
It's
okay.
Renard.
James told me
That's
that
what
Renard was his. He
that's what
said
kind of
Renard
vibe.
is my hero, and then
Oh, okay.
he said, "Hey, Leisha, I want a picture. I want a picture, a jacket or something with Renard." He said, you know, his initials
Oh,
with his.
okay.
I want a shirt or something. I was like, okay, well,
I'm
this
on
is
Right
here.
like,
back on.
and then he told me he said I want to try to go see Renard graduate. And I was like, okay, but you know, but I said,
Yeah.
okay, I don't want to try. I said, we'll try to help you make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But he did tell me that that's
Yeah.
his goals. But I was just glad that he was able to come here. He really enjoyed himself. He had a
I
ball.
know I saw the pictures.
We got on that porch, and Renard played that music. And when Renard told him that he had to, you know, James made all these CDs for Renard for his truck to play in his truck. He said, "Granddaddy, all I got to do is pull it up on Apple Music." And James was like, "What?" He said, "All you gonna do?"
Yeah, it
Oh,
was a
look, I
cool
didn't know
moment
anything
because
about Pandora
yeah,
except for
Mm-mm.
him telling me about it.
it was a bit of a cool moment because, like you say, his passion, his love for music, him getting
Oh
to,
yeah.
he's
Oh
got all
yeah.
old songs of his, all these favorites at his disposal, at the touch of a button. That was pretty cool for him.
I know
Did
that
you
blew his
introduce
mind.
him?
It
Yeah,
did. It
we
did.
and we sat
This
on
is
the porch for a long
Renard, which is we didn't introduce you to our audience. This is Renard Matthews Jr., who is James Hall's grandson, which is his mom sitting next to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, y'all. It's been an hour.
That's it.
It's been an hour, Deborah,
It's been an
already.
hour. That time went
You know,
by so
this in
fast.
person
I'm
anytime.
scared to
That way,
I'm scared to click on anything because
Hey,
I clicked
Renard.
on something that thing said get up out of here. So I had to log back in. But I'm glad y'all
Oh,
stayed on it and kept talking. Y'all didn't know I had disappeared, but I sent everybody a text saying I was coming right back on. So
so,
oh,
it's
okay.
been good. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said,
It's been a lot of
after
fun.
we say, yeah, after y'all log out, I'm going to show the rest of the pictures. Um, and show that last picture. I had some videos. I'm scared to play those, or maybe I'll come back and do it another time because we had a lot of pictures that y'all sent, which I really appreciate over the years. One thing I will say is our dad always said he was a handsome man. And he was,
Yeah,
and he stayed that
he
way
he
until
was.
he
was.
left
He
here.
was.
And,
Did
if
I
he
say
didn't cut his
something?
hair or shave, he wasn't feeling well. Hey, Renard, that's Renard
Did I
Senior
say
back
something?
there.
Hey, Renard.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
man.
Did I say something?
You got to come closer.
Get closer. So.
What was you
Did I
saying,
say
Renard?
something?
Hey,
Oh,
Hey.
Lord.
Hey.
With a mute button. Hold on. Let me give my finger on the mute button. Go ahead, Renard.
No, I just wanted to say, y'all dad was one of the coolest men I ever known. Um, I just got to say this. When I first got ready to ask Felicia's hand in marriage,
Oh.
one thing he told me, I thought he was going to knock me in the
Oh, wait,
head or
hold
something.
on.
He said, one
Oh,
thing I
Lord.
want to say to you. And I said, what's that, Mr. Hall? He said, be yourself. You know, I've
Yep.
always took that.
That's how I.
You
You
know,
need hold your
not,
thing because it's still rubbing on the other
oh,
side. Oh,
oh,
Lord.
okay.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that
Oh
was
Lord,
wow. Sorry.
hallelujah.
that was one of the
You can
things
still
he
hear
said
us?
to me, and it
I got
always
you.
has stuck.
Well, okay, so hold it. Yes, just lift it
Okay, I'll
up. That's
hold it.
good. Go ahead, Renard.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
No,
won't
I
rub
was
up
just
against
saying
your
one
clothes.
thing that always stuck with me, throughout 35 years of being married to Alicia. He just always said,
Ah,
man,
you
be
know.
yourself. Don't try to be nobody else. Be yourself. He said, that's all I ask. And he gave me his blessings, and
Mm-hmm.
Said, you're welcome to marry my daughter. He said, just be yourself and everything will be all right. And I've always took that from what he said to me. I've even told my
Yeah.
kids that, just be yourself. Don't try to be nobody else. Stand your ground and do what you got to do for yourself and for your family. And that has always stuck with me.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well,
That
Wonderful.
that
sound
sounds
like
like him.
him.
He always say, "Live a
Exactly.
righteous life." So
Yeah.
that's the key to life. Live a righteous life. But I remember how nervous he was walking you down the aisle, Alicia, and how he was paratoed and on his tiptoes, walking too slow,
He was walking so slow. I
going
said,
down
"You
the
all
aisle.
right?"
That might be not why he was walking slow, but anyway.
Oh my God, he was so slow. He was so stiff. His toes pointing to each other and on his tiptoes, like he about to tip
Oh my
over.
goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
the
goodness.
that's
And then I
the
remember,
first time I remember seeing James in the suit. I don't remember seeing him in the suit before that.
No, he used to him.
see him in
And
his
hey,
shirt
it wouldn't
tie suit
change
going
if
to
he
church.
if
He
he didn't cut off the neck, cut the neck out of the t-shirt.
There's a
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Oh,
Always.
his
Yeah,
t-shirt. Yeah,
keep
he
the
always cut his
t-shirt
Always.
neck
on.
out.
Yeah, we thought that was funny where he cut his
That's where you
neck
get it
at.
from.
The t-shirt where he
Always
be
cut
hot.
off.
You gotta cut the neck out and the short
All
pants
it's
cut off.
yeah, real cutoffs.
He
Yeah,
loved
real cutoffs.
he loved he loved his classmates, and to
Oh
him,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
some of them were closer than his family members, his brothers and sisters. But he
Bunch.
loved his classmates, and he
Yeah.
loved entertaining and having them over. And they had some of the
Oh
best
yeah.
times over here, especially in the backyard.
House
And
parties.
I showed that picture
We
last
got a
how
chance
he
to share
pretty
it
much
with them.
landscaped it back there to make them cool and comfortable. What is that,
Right.
Carrie?
I said, when we got a chance to
What'd you
share
say,
it with them.
Carrie? Oh yeah.
He was talking.
I'm waiting for you to say back in the day we used to get checkers. I'm waiting for you to say that again.
Checkers.
We used to stop by checkers.
One of those checkers.
Oh, yeah.
If we get
You talking
food
about the
and go to
baseball
the
thing. Yeah, one
stadium.
of
I
yeah,
know
one
we
of
said back in the day we used to go by checkers. I said, "Ain't no checkers way back then."
yeah, one of checkers. I forgot
Um,
what it was. I
and the
tell
other
you the
thing he
truth.
loved to do, and a lot of people didn't know, mm, but back in the day, he built two barbecue grills, two big giant pits, really, in his
Yeah.
Right.
backyard, one for him and one for his wife. And he would get
Mm-hmm.
back there on the weekends with those leg quarters, and that was some of the best chicken I remember.
Yes, it was.
And
It
something he loved to do. That chicken was good, and
Yeah, he used
he
to
Yeah,
love
loved
to
he
doing that,
do
getting
put it
back
that.
there on the
on
grill.
there,
And
then
then
wrap it up.
sometimes, um, he would. I didn't understand nothing you say. What did you say?
So sometimes when he would cook it, he'd take
Hello,
it and wrap it up in the foil,
you staying there?
chicken leg. That would happen. That
We
was
can
like,
Yeah.
hear him, Deborah. You can't hear him.
We can hear him.
huh?
We can hear. We can
Huh?
hear him.
Oh,
We
okay.
Yeah,
We
can
we
can
They
hear
hear
can
you.
hear
We
him.
me.
can
You
hear.
can't
All
hear.
right.
She probably can't hear me because keeps saying, huh? You can't hear me, Deborah? She can't hear me.
No.
Okay.
I can
He
hear you
talking,
now.
Deborah.
You can't hear
I
me,
can hear
Deborah.
you.
Oh,
You keep
okay.
saying, huh?
I can
Everybody
hear
else can hear me but
you.
you.
I can. No, it's just you talking. You were talking at the same time I was talking, and it
Oh.
came through as,
Okay.
and that's why I said, huh?
Oh, she's still
Uh,
You
lagging.
gonna need edit.
Anybody have anything else to say, Gary? Ain't no
I got
edit. This
something I
it. I
want to
ain't
say before
editing
we get
nothing.
off of
It's
here.
some things I can. Sure.
Go ahead.
And then
Go
it's
ahead.
something that I've already said to all of us, but I want to put it on the video
Mm-hmm.
that when there's somebody that you love, you want to take those good things about that person and you live those things. You know, you
Mm,
don't want to keep remembering the person. You want to
Mm-hmm.
live the person. And
Right.
by living them,
right.
that person is alive, you know.
Mhm.
to to be able to say that James Hall
Mm-hmm.
is still alive, which he is, it's gonna be hard
Yeah.
to get rid of James Hall on this planet because he and all of us, we have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
live those things that we loved about him. And I
Right.
plan on passing along as much as I can that I thought he did, which really benefited me in my life to my children. So they'll know about him through me, and the
Yep.
next generation, they're gonna know about him through them.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, Jimmy. I like that. I just
Hmm.
want to say,
Right.
I share that same sentiment
Right.
because I love my father. And
Hmm.
as a child, even as an adult, your dad can never do no wrong in your eyesight, even though you take the good with the bad. He can never
Hmm.
do any wrong. So he was my hero. I mean, I miss him terribly, but I know that he doesn't want me sitting around worried about and grieving and
Mhm.
crying every day, but he wants me to go on. And like Jimmy said, remember the things that he instilled in us, and that'll help carry us uh, through this lifespan that we have left. He says, I live to see all my children
Mhm.
become, as he says, senior citizens, but he said it
Hmm.
in a
Yep.
joking way. But he said, I live to see
Oh.
my children become that, and all of my children are still here. He said he always used to stress how important family was because that's something that he always treasured. So that's
Yep.
something that I always remember. And like
Mhm.
Jimmy said, you instill that into your children. So as long as I live, he lives. His spirit is within me. So I believe in that. And I say I take him with me everywhere I go. So to me, he's never gone. He's
Absolutely.
always there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Always here. Yep. So true. So true.
Well,
Yep.
one thing I wanted to say, and one thing, can y'all hear me?
We can
Y'all
hear
can hear
you.
me?
Yes.
Y'all can
Yes.
hear me.
We
Okay,
hear
one
you.
thing I
Yes.
wanted to say that
Yes.
he emphasized, one thing he one thing he wanted to say that he emphasized, and I want to publicly thank all of you, especially the twins, because
Mm-hmm.
they carried a heavy
Yes.
load and they did the heavy lifting. So I really
Yes.
want to
Yes.
thank the two of
Thank
you for sacrificing your personal life and time for being
Thank
there
you.
for him and for my mom, for our mom especially,
you, especially.
Yeah.
Right.
because I could
Right.
only do so much from afar, all of us, but you all were there and
There.
you
Yeah.
saw everything. And so for that, I
Right.
want to say thank God for the two of you, and I thank you
Thank
all
God.
from the bottom of my heart for what you all did, just
Yes.
being there. I know it wasn't easy. Y'all had, like they say, y'all senior citizens, you got your own problems, children, and aches and pain, but you were right
Right.
there doing the heavy lifting. And I really, really appreciate the both of you for doing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Hmm.
appreciate it.
Like he said, like about a week before he passed, he said, whatever it is y'all want to get, he always wanted to have the best. Still trying to hit it big on the lottery. And
Mm.
he
Mm-hmm.
said, protect your privacy. He said, it's important.
Yeah.
I thought it
Them
with
Uh,
those scratch
Popeyes.
offs.
huh?
I said the Popeyes.
Popeyes.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
He said,
All right. Is there
Popeye.
anything else y'all wanted to say?
James used
'Cause,
to always talk about Popeyes,
Oh,
the
yeah, the
chicken.
Popeye's
chicken. Yeah,
chicken.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Grandma Fanny
Look,
KFC.
went to New Orleans.
Uh,
That's how he ate Popeye's chicken.
That's what
Popeyes.
Mary said.
Yeah, all the place he
You
wouldn't go to Popeyes.
Popeye. And them checker fries. He
Checker
loved
fries.
them.
That's he
Yeah,
loved them
Yeah.
yeah.
checker fries. Yep.
But anyway, we got a
Mhm.
lot of laughs us the rest of our life after being around so long. So we'll
Hmm.
never
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he had a
That's
chance
true.
to be comfortable. He ain't had to worry about nothing. Whatever he needed, man, Gil was here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes he needs some help. Said, look at that, bam, boom. Y'all come down here, 1, 2, bam. You done did it already. He said, I'm sitting up here trying to figure this. Y'all just come right here, bam, it done 2 seconds of that. Hey, I said, that's why
That's
we're here, man. We're here. But I got
Mhm.
up and made sure I went down, sat with him in the morning, went out on the porch. So, the last
Yeah.
few later months, I said, I'm going to get up and go down there in the mornings they start eating down a little breakfast or whatever down there, and
Yeah.
spend time with them and talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
Yeah.
He pretty much said
But
we covered everything. Ain't no if and but. Wish I would have said
If
this
he
and
want, he got it.
and none of
That's
that.
why I went and got that TV.
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
know.
Yeah, he
Everything
gonna
was
come.
Yeah.
wonderful. Who
Yeah,
was that?
whatever he
yeah.
wanted, he got for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm,
yeah.
That's
Mm,
true.
I mean, I thank God for him. Like I said, he left a legacy, which is us. We're the legacy that's
Mm-hmm.
left behind now to carry on his name, to carry
Yep.
on his works, to
Yes, sir.
remind people of or whoever asked, you know, what he
Yep.
was about. I
Right.
mean, that's always going to be, that never dies. So as long as we
Mm-hmm.
can carry on that legacy and continue that on, he lives within us. Like Jimmy said, he lives. Like I
Yeah,
think it's a
yes,
saying
sir.
that says, whenever you mention his name, he lives. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go
Yes,
around and
sir.
don't, you can't be walking around saying, "Well, I didn't have this or that," but he left a legacy,
Yeah.
Right.
and his life, he lived a good life. Really, he said he lived a good life. That's what he told us. I can
But
bear witness to that.
We'd
I
Mm-hmm.
always
mean,
be
he
talking
loved
with
working in the
mhm,
yard, doing stuff like that. But the legacy that he left behind, we're his example now. You
mhm.
know, we're that
mhm,
mouthpiece. So we go on.
yeah,
But like she
mhm,
said, thank you, Karen and Gary. Thank you, Leisha, Jimmy, Deborah. I mean, 100% thank
mhm,
you,
Yep.
yeah. Glad to be.
mhm.
I'm glad we were good. The
you
whole
know, for
thing.
I
being
think
there.
all of us played a part
8
in some
years.
way. All
Almost
right.
True.
been gone
Well,
9 years for
for
me.
the people that gotta
So
go to work,
people,
Shut up.
people that go to work,
whatever,
I can back down in the morning.
whatever.
Right. I got to be at work
Well,
at 7.
I'm getting ready to
Yeah.
go, y'all.
Uh,
All right. So
I'll
y'all
talk to
can go
y'all
ahead and
later.
log off. And I'm
Okay,
gonna just
brother.
wrap up right
I
quick.
enjoyed that.
So
Good
before
talking
y'all,
with everybody.
that
bye
gentleman,
y'all. Just make sure you
Okay, bye.
log out all the way before
Yeah.
you start talking and saying
I
personal stuff because it's still recording.
right?
Okay,
I got baby
Yeah.
Gary.
James here ready for
Okay.
Uh-oh.
bed, and they gonna act a
Oh,
fool in
Adon.
a minute.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Uh
Yeah, you
oh.
better go then.
All
All
right,
right,
y'all. Love
brother.
y'all.
All
All
right.
right,
Love
love
you.
you
Bye,
too.
Jimmy.
Okay.
Love
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 you
you
you.
too.
too.
Talk to
Love
Bye.
y'all
y'all so
later.
much.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
See
Thank you.
y'all later.
See y'all later.
Thank you,
All right. I
Deborah.
think I can.
Okay,
Thank you.
Janine, I'll
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
talk to
coming
Deborah.
on.
you later. All
Okay,
We'll
right.
bye
have to
bye.
get together again soon.
Okay.
That was
All right.
fun. We'll have
Yep.
to get together
Bye.
again soon. Bye bye.
Bye. Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to take everybody out. Uh, let's see here. Okay, almost everybody's gone. And the last thing I want to say, for those who don't know, what in the world? How do I get her out? Okay, let me. Sorry, I had to get her out. So that I had to get my sister out. So anyway, our dad passed away August 28th, 2023, which is on a Monday. And we wanted to come on and share. There are a lot of people who did not know about his legacy. A lot of people didn't know he had passed away. So we wanted to come out and share. He ended up with stage 4 cancer, and he battled that cancer. When I tell you, fought like a lion, like Hercules. And they had only given him 6 months to live after he was diagnosed last July, and he lived for over a year up until the very end. He never lost his voice, never lost his memory. He lost some of his strength, but he could still independently get around in his wheelchair by himself. And on the last day, the Lord said he was ready for him. And so we thank God for giving us such a wonderful man, a alpha male. He was a man, strong man now. And when I tell you that man fought for his life, and he never gave up, and he never lost his faith. So Lord, we thank you for James E. And James E. Hall Sr. His nickname was Buckethead. Everybody knew him as Buckethead. June 2nd, 1938 to August 28th, 2023. I have no complaints whatsoever, no regrets. And as my sister said, he never ever complained about his illness, about his pain, about his sickness. He kept saying, I'm happy. I don't understand why I'm so happy, but I'm happy. And indeed he was. And on August 28th, he took flight and he is at peace. And he still lives in all of us. And that's how I envision him every morning. When I wake up, he's on my mind. And when I go to sleep, he's on my mind. He wanted peace and he got it. And so I'm going to run through here right quick and show these pictures. These are the pictures. I think that because there was so many people on, they were slow loading. But my dad lived a full and good life. He traveled and he gave back to his community in any way that he could, financially, volunteering. He did it. I remember when he was one of the band parents when my brother was in the band and we went on a trip to Tallahassee. My daddy could dress, and as I said earlier, he was a handsome man. He ain't mind telling you, I'm handsome. Um, wasn't arrogant or anything like that, but he was a funny guy, and he was so funny. He didn't even know he was funny, but maybe he did. But the things he would say sometimes, because he would be so brutally honest sometimes, it would just crack me up. And like I said, he loved his classmates like family. They were like family, not like, classmates now. You barely know people, but they were like a family. It wasn't TikTok and Facebook and all of that stuff back then. You had to really be in a person's presence to call them friend or family. And so these are some great, great memories that I'm sharing. And all of these pictures were pictures that I requested. Family members, his grandchildren, his great grandchildren, they all sent me these pictures to share. And we miss him every day. And not a day goes by. First, when he first transitioned, it took me a while to just stop crying. I was like, I don't know why I can't stop crying. And I think it was because it was that void. That's his great grandson Taylor. And I got some more pictures here. I've always loved that hat. I got that hat out of his closet. So you'll see me wearing that hat this winter. Um, got a couple more pictures of him. He was a good dresser, especially when he traveled. He had the best of the best when he traveled, leather jackets and things. And when I was saying earlier about his landscape in his backyard, he had it where his classmates and friends could come and be cool and comfortable back there and enjoy privacy back there. So these pictures I actually got from my mom. I don't know what he's doing here. It looked like he hanging up some clothes or something. And, I think a couple of pictures of, places they've traveled. They've been all to Vegas and New Orleans and Memphis and Atlanta, all kinds of places he traveled to. And they would take a spring trip, him and my mom. There they are together. The two lovebirds. They would take a spring trip every year where they would be gone, I think, for 2 weeks while they were traveling. That's one of the pictures while he was on vacation. Then, later on, after he retired, he started getting smaller, got his health in check and he lost a lot of weight and got healthier. And so now they enjoyed their life. My mom is still here. She didn't make the recording because she was relaxing. Let's just say that. But it's okay that we stood in the gap for her. And I think I showed that one already. I know I showed that one. I remember this picture when my dad turned 50 years old and I put that sign in the yard. I had just came home to visit while I was in college. I came home for a visit and he had gone on a doctor's appointment. So when he came back for his doctor's appointment, it was his birthday, and I had went and bought that sign and stuck it in the yard for him. We had a little party. We got him a little cake and everything. It wasn't a real party. It was just me, him, and my mom, I think. Maybe Alicia may have stopped by. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I remember specifically going and buying that sign to celebrate his 50th birthday. And this picture here is my dad dressed up and my sister Angela. And I know that's her from her earrings and bracelets. I don't know what they were doing outside. That's on our porch, what they were talking about, but that's her and my dad there. And he did a lot for us growing up, took us camping. I remember when the Navy ship came to the Port of Palm Beach, he took us over there uh, on that ship. And, in the end, he said he just wanted to be in a peaceful place. And this is one of the peaceful places that he talked about, which is this picture on my brother's front porch in Tennessee. He said he loved it there. And after him and my mom moved, um, they used to come down, right, and stay in I forgot the name of that place where it's not a hotel, but it's like you get the kitchen and all of that stuff in there. So what I would do when I knew they were here, before I went to work, I would go and meet them early in the morning for breakfast and eat for free at the buffet. Those were good times. And this next picture, oh gosh, I got so many. After his diagnosis, he stayed strong, he stayed positive and upbeat. And I went to go visit him one weekend and he was like, "Hey Deborah, I want you to take my picture." He loved taking pictures, right? So I took 3 pictures and I said, "Pick the best one you like." And he picked this one. And that was a good day. He was so happy. He said, "I can't explain to you why I'm so happy." That's my mom. Actually, that's a picture from the weekend. And I want to also thank everybody who sent cards, flowers, whatever you did, prayers. Thank you so much. My coworker gave me this picture, and I have it on my desk. And I cried like a baby when she gave it to me because it was a surprise from her. I wasn't expecting it. So he works with me all day, every day. So he already knew what was going on because after work, I'd be texting him or I get on that phone, be like, "You wouldn't believe what they did today." But anyway, we did have a small, I won't even say a memorial. We had a celebration of his life a couple of weeks ago, and that was the program that's in my mom's living room. And this picture here is one of his visits. Actually, after he had got out of the hospital one time, and then he came down to the doctor, and he was leaving. I was like, "Hey, let me take a picture." So yeah. That I snapped 3 like I always do and let him pick the best one. I think I showed this one. That's his granddaughter, Latoya, when she came and visited. And you know what? Right after he got out of the hospital last year, after they diagnosed him with cancer, he no longer needed that oxygen. He was on oxygen probably what 2 days, and then after that, he didn't need it anymore. And he had a great. He enjoyed his life. He could eat whatever he wanted to eat. The doctor said, "Let him eat whatever he wants to eat." He enjoyed his life. That's another one of his many doctor visits. Before his illness, he would come down, go to the doctor, get his medicine, and go on about his business. That's him there, sitting up proud like he would do in his chair, his favorite chair. And this here is another favorite spot of his, where he would sit in his garage. And all of that music and all of that stuff back there, you talking thousands and thousands of record albums and CDs and cassette tapes. He had it all. And that was one of his favorite spots in his garage. And when he sat in that garage, he could see you, but you couldn't see him. And that's when I would go visit and he would time me getting there. He would go sit outside, open the garage. And when I drove up, they always say the same thing. Good timing, Deborah. And this is a visit that he made to my sister's home in Georgia. And that was his last visit. And if you look at his shirt, you'll see his grandson, Renard Jr., on his shirt. And he signed it also. Renard signed his shirt for him. That's Amber, my mom in the back, my sister Alicia, and myself with the long braids. The next picture is my mom, my sister, the twins, and myself and my dad. See how happy he was, so happy. And at that time he was in the wheelchair. He was able to still walk, and even at the end he was able to still walk a little bit, but not far. But because her property is so big, he had that electric wheelchair just to get around the property. So I believe I showed this one also. The last pictures I've showed already. I'm just going to show again right quick. There he is. This is in July. Being the DJ for my mom's birthday celebration, digging through his CDs to see what he would play next. And then this is the family group picture. Everybody who was there was in the picture. There's my nephew Kerry Hall Jr. and his wife. I think Carrie is in the picture. He has on the gray shirt standing on the last row, but his wife and two kids, they had went to the park, so they missed the group picture. But I showed a picture of them earlier. And this is my mom and dad with one of his favorite college teams hat on, which is Alabama, Roll Tide. And this is my dad in his police uniform. He was a patrol officer for the city of West Palm Beach. And my mom and dad's marriage license. December 12th, 1958 is when they got married. This is his high school graduation picture. And a picture of his mother and my mom's mom. My dad's mom is on the left. My mom's mom is on the right. That's Elaine and Fanny. I had a couple of messages for Amber. Um, let's see. One thing Amber, now this is the absolute truth. Amber wrote, which is his granddaughter, he loved his family, but he also loved his space. When we visited for grandma's birthday in July, there were many people over. The next day, he didn't want all those people over again. His people meter had ran out. She said, I told him the day before he was going to get tired of all them people. And he told me, shush. And we just laughed. And she said one thing about him through the aches and pains he did have, he'd do as much as he could for himself. Yes, he did. And then when I would try to do stuff for him, let me do it. Let me try to do it. And say, even if you try to help, he smack his teeth and say, nah, Amber, I think I got it. That's the absolute truth. All the way to the end, he wanted to do it himself. Right on, Amber. Let me check my video, and this is for my family who might still be watching. I have a really, I don't really have nothing. I'm gonna show this video I made of the memorial program that we had, and then I will close out with a small clip of James E. Hall Sr. I hope you all have enjoyed hanging out with us, learning about our father, and we might come on and do something some other time. Maybe I'll bring my mom on next time. All right. So thank you all so much. I want to thank my brothers and sisters again for coming on. I want to thank everyone who sent pictures. Latoya, thank you. Amber and Renard, thank you so much. Um, And I want to thank my mom for sending the information that she did. And she has been correcting me since August 28th that they were not married for 68 years. I had known each other and been together for 68 years, but not married for 68 years. Um, she said she met him when she was 16 years old in high school, and she is 83. She just had her birthday in July, and my dad lived to see his 85th birthday on June 2nd. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us as we celebrate the life and legacy of James E. Hall Sr. So please rewind this video, watch it again, share it, and by all means, tell a friend. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.